So here's the story. My New Year's plans kind of got shifted a little bit, so I had one more night to myself, and I decided to go and play some Pokemon. Please, round of applause. I'm going to need it because that took a lot of effort. Actually, no, it didn't. It's just my other games are down for maintenance or hacked or broken. So, played some Pokemon. Hey, look at that. I found a match, a very respectable match to upload, and it's against Real McCoy 265. This is with a brand new team as well. I dumped the other teams. I don't like them. I'm not figuring it out. I don't want to, well, it's not that I don't want to take the time to figure it out. I just want a team that I feel really good about, and I want to use some stuff that were on the other teams and just kind of integrate them and go smash people, hopefully, or at least annoy them. That's what I try and go out for. My goal is not to necessarily, it's to win and to learn from mistakes, but also to annoy the heck out of people. Unfortunately, my opponent also has a very annoying team. So, just to quickly go over my team, this team was built around Rain and Mega Blastoise, so obviously that is a Mega Blastoise with Hydro Pump and the 3 Sphere and Pulse-like moves. We have Klefki, which is with the Sub, Spikes, a T-Wave, and the Foul Play. You have physically defensive Porygon 2 with Eviolite. It is the one with Toxic and Recover, and then Bolt Beam, or, well, Charge. I don't want to say Charge Beam because it's like Discharge. So it'd be Dis Ice or Dis Beam. Something like that. Tornadus T, which is Life Orb with Taunt and 3 attacks. Then you have Aegislash. This is a mixed Aegislash, and I don't know if I've said this before, but I do think that mixed Aegislash is just kind of like, But, you know, I decided to give it a try because this team was kind of weak to, you know, just the fact that he is the only physical attacker. So if he is going to be the physical attacker and they have a giant physical wall, I'd like to get around that. So, you know, making a mix with the Shadow Ball kind of gets through those walls, like something like Skarmory or even Klefki, because those are physically defensive as well. So, and finally, we just have a standard specially defensive Politoed with the Perish Song. Actually, I'm running the Scald Ice Beam, Perish Song, and Protect. So, in the ways of leads, I figured he'd either lead off with the Skarmory or the Klefki, so Tornadus T is good for both reasons. Tornadus T can U-turn on the Skarmory, and it can also bait out the T-Wave from the Klefki, which is what exactly I want, because I have a Status Absorber in the form of my own Klefki named Jingles, and Jingles is very good. It's been doing a lot of work. Klefki is a really good Pokemon. It's really good, especially when it does frickin' Swagger. It just becomes annoying, so I'm going to hit myself in Confusion because, you know, it's Parafusion, it's just bad luck. He's got the spikes. It's got Prankster. Like, it's a really good Pokemon. It's gonna be very strong in the OU metagame. I can already see it happening. Even mixing up with like Rotom Wash to cover his weaknesses. It's a fantastic core. Anyways, I'm gonna switch into Duck for a particular reason because I have Trace on this. He's gonna set up all 3 layers of spikes, but that's not what I necessarily wanted. I wanted his Prankster because now I know he's gonna go for T-Wave as I go for Discharge and paralyze him. He can paralyze me for all I care, but what I want is I want to have access to the Prankster, because once I'm paralyzed, if he sends in anything else that he thinks, oh, I can set up on this guy because it's a P2, I can go for the Prankster Toxic, or I can go for the Prankster Recover, so I'll actually be in a safe position. Unfortunately, I can't get much more damage off because I get paralyzed. He's gonna go into Skarmory like, yes, Discharge. Nope, paralyzed. No, not paralyzed. I hit myself, and he gets his rocks up, and I hit myself for a 3rd time. I'm like, come on, man. You can't be serious. And then I hit myself with Confusion, and he goes for Whirlwind, and I cringed. I literally cringed. He has 4 hazards up on me. 4 layers of hazards that are going to be nailing all of my Pokemon pretty well. He's going to go into T-Tar, which is a very nice play to get the Sand up to give himself special defense boost. I'm pretty sure he's running Salt Vest because he had Stealth Rocks on his Skarmory. So, as you can see, he's doing absolutely nothing to him. But at this point, I have him burned. So I can stay in and keep nailing him with Skulls, because if he wants to send in any of his guys, believe it or not, most of his guys are physical attackers as well. So, if I can burn anyone, I'll be very happy. He actually sends a Cure Black like, please burn, do it. He got hacks, give me the hacks. And no. So, unfortunately, that's not going to work out for me, but I do have something to switch into, and it's actually going to be the Klefki, because even though I knew he was probably going to go for the substitute, because that's what most of these do anyways, I have Foul Play so I can break through it. I'm pretty sure he has an attack that I can borrow to destroy his sub. But I go for the sub, and luckily he favors his health more, which makes sense. He doesn't tell me what item he has yet, which I wasn't really thinking about at the time, but he's going to go for Fusion Bolt, and luckily I am behind the sub to take that. I do not get paralyzed. I go for the Foul Play. If I got paralyzed, we'd be in a different boat here. But he confirms that he is Life Orb, so I know I don't really want to take this hit, but I can threaten him with the T-Wave. He makes a nice play, goes into Klefki. I'm just playing very, very obvious right now because I really am in a bad position. With all these layers of hazards, I really can't be screwing up what I'm calling. He actually misses Swaggers. I go for a layer of Spikes. I figured I'm going to have to go on the little bit of a setup here and get my own spikes going, and I'm going to have to go into Duck, because Duck is not going to get hurt a lot by either Swagger hits, as you saw before, is like 7%, and I'm also not going to get hurt by Foul Play, so I actually get paralyzed. I'm like, no, please don't do this. But Foul Play doesn't kill me, because again, I have no attack. If P2 is going to smack himself, it's not going to do anything, and I can't believe he actually gets this. He goes into T-Tar to set up the sand to try and kill me with the confusion, and I freaking slap my bill in the face. I slap myself in the bill with my tail or something like that. It's like, come on! This is just horrible luck. But now I get to send in Politoed, get rid of his sand, and threaten him with a water move. He actually goes into Keldeo, and I'm just going to go for the Scald, because again, his whole team's not going to appreciate it. Not only do I get a crit, but I get a burn, and I'm like, revenge. And you're probably figuring out that this is going to be a very haxy match based on my demeanor right now, and based on how much I'm really feeling pain here. So now I have to pause this, because at this point, I have to consider what type of player my opponent is. He went for Secret Sword on the Politoed, which makes sense. Now, what he could have done, which might have made him look like more of a better player than I wanted him to look like at the time, and it's kind of hard to explain, but at this point I'm wondering whether or not he's going to go for the water move, because he is in the rain. He can go for Hydro Pump or Surf or whatnot, and he can smash me, and he can probably do a lot of damage. And I'm not sure if he'll actually kill Politoed, but I mean, his guy is pretty much dead himself. Looking back on it, though, when I was trying to think about how to explain this to you guys, Secret Sword does make more sense, and I am going to switch into my Aegislash, hoping that he is going to go for the Secret Sword. And now I look at it, maybe because maybe he knows I'm specially defensive, that it wouldn't have made much sense, and maybe he wouldn't be able to kill me with the water move, but, I mean, in the rain, Keldeo with Hydro Pump, it might have. I haven't done a damage calc. I'll leave a damage calc, and then you guys will know whether or not everything I just talked about makes sense or not. But anyways, here comes Mixed Aegislash. I go for the Shadow Sneak to kind of make it look like, you know, I'm one type of Aegislash type of thing, but I mean also because I can take him out. And then bam, Shadow Ball. This is where it actually pays off very nicely. He goes for the Whirlwind. That's pretty obvious, because what else can he do to me? Brave Bird's going to do absolutely nothing. So, anyways, I'm going to go for a second layer of spikes, because at this point, I'm pretty sure if he goes for Defog, he'll screw himself over, so I am going to be able to get a free hazards, and it's going to hit pretty much all of his team except Skarmory, which is not too bad. But now it brings me to Nimbusille, which I love that name. Makes a very nice play, goes into T-Tar as I go for the taunt. I should have gone for U-turn, but at the same time I was fearing him going for a Roost, knowing that he could probably take a Hurricane, or risk the fact that I could miss, and I really didn't want to take that. He makes a weird play and goes into Keldeo and sacrifices it. This actually kind of gives him a little bit of problems later, as you're about to see. But I'm going to go to Klefki because I know T-Wave is coming, and pretty much Klefki is going to be dead. But he makes a nice switch and he goes into Skarmory. This I actually kind of expected. I knew that he would be making these types of double switches, but I wanted to go for T-Wave, and of course, Paralyze. Of course. So now Klefki is death fodder. But he brings me to the next best thing, which is Aegislash, which again, if you saw how much damage that Shadow Ball did before, 57%, I can go for another Shadow Ball and 2-hit KO this guy, and it does 56. So I'm like, you know what, I'm pretty confident. I got a special defense drop. We're going to be doing a ton of damage to this Skarmory if he tries to stay in a roost. But he can't. So he's going to Cure in Black. I am safe to go for another Shadow Ball because it'll hit everything on his team now that not only does Keldeo not resist it, or sorry, not only does T-Tar gone, but Lucario doesn't resist Dark anymore. Here I knew he would sub, so I actually go for another Shadow, or I go for the Sacred Sword actually, which is nice. So he knows 3 of my moves, but he doesn't know my last move, which will actually play a little bit into the later form of this game. But I'm just going to go for a Shadow Sneak. There's no point in him switching out. If he did, I'd be very surprised. And figuring how he foddered off his Keldeo, the guy doesn't like using Death Fodder, I guess, which is a little problematic for playing against higher level people. But regardless, could have just been a misplay on his part. That happens. He's going to go into Klefki. I don't want to take a foul play. I wasn't too confident on a Shadow Ball killing at this range. I didn't honestly know. So I'm just going to send in Klefki as death fodder. He's going to go for the foul, or sorry, he actually goes for the Thunder Wave, not the foul play, which was kind of interesting because foul play would have killed me if I didn't kill him. But regardless, now I can go into Blastoise, Mega Evolve, and destroy this thing. I don't care if I get paralyzed. Everything on his team, or just Lucario at least, is going to be faster regardless. I'm going to the giant cannon on the shell, and I'm going to go for that Hydro Pump. It is the closest thing to firing out of his cannon that we're going to get. The game ticked me off. Yeah, Hydro Pump out of his mouth. You son of a guns. I hate you. Game Freak, you hate Blastoise. Admit it. You hate him, you wouldn't give it to us. And then I get paralyzed. I'm double upset now. Gosh darn it, he goes for the whirlwind. And he brings me an Aegislash. So, once again, the best switch for me possible. Because now what I can do is kill him with, well, 56, 57%. I can go for a Shadow Ball and kill him, right? Yeah. So we're just going to go for that because, you know, I can do it. No. Minimum damage. The min damage, of course. He gets to whirlwind me. Yeah. But the cool thing here is he brings me into Politoed, which essentially gives me free switch. And I go back into Aegislash. So, now he's put himself in a terrible position because, well, his Skarmory can't roost up. It's going to die. If he roosted up, he was just going to be delaying the inevitable. He can't do anything. He actually goes for the Brave Bird. Maybe he should have actually roosted, now that I think about it. Maybe roosting would have been maybe his best bet. But regardless, it's going to die eventually because, you know, Shadow Ball does more than half no matter if it's min or max damage. So, it's going to die. But now it comes down to this. He has Lucario. I have 3 really beat-up guys. And after Hazards, none of these guys can really take hits. What it comes down to here, ladies and gentlemen, is when this Lucario Mega Evolves, because that's pretty freaking obvious, because nothing else on his team, well, except T-Tar, but that's not going to Mega Evolve, especially after it got burned. Maybe he was running a, what's it called, Tyrannotite? I didn't even think of that. I could be running Tyrannotite, but I'm pretty sure it's running Assault Vest, just based on how well it took those hits. Lucario, though, because looking at my HP, I'm looking to be very easily swept. If Blastoise comes in, taking all that Hazards damage is going to put it in a very easy range to be killed from a Fighting Move or a Dark Move, Crunch, or Close Combat, or whatnot. And after Stealth Rocks, Tornadus Therian is not going to be able to take priority if he has it. But the question is now whether or not he actually has the priority. I have to think about going for King Shield here. If I go for King Shield and he hits me, I'm pretty sure I win, because what that means is he'll be at -2 attack, and if he does have priority Bullet Punch, with adaptability, it should not be able to take out Tornadus Therian at 75% health, because that's what it will be at, because of Regenerator bringing back its full HP every time it comes in, blah 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 blah. So it doesn't even matter about Blastoise, it matters on Tornadus Therian. If he has the priority, then that will mess him over. However, if he predicts that, or if he doesn't have priority, and I don't go for King Shield, and he doesn't Swords Dance, I lose. Because what that means is, he will kill off my Aegislash, I'll bring in my Tornadus Therian, Blastoise can't do anything, and if he carries the priority, it's most likely going to kill. Especially if he sets up a Swords Dance, I'm very fearful of this. I don't know the damage calcs, so it comes down to whether or not I go for the King Shield. If he Swords Dance on my King Shield, it's over. If he attacks on my King Shield, it's pretty good for me. And I have to think about, well, what's he going to do? Do I have him in the position where he feels that this thing could kill him? Because I could go for Sacred Sword, predicting it right now. I could go for Sacred Sword, kill the Lucario. I decide on the King Shield. Drum roll, please. I go for the King Shield, hoping that he will attack with a Crunch, a Fighting Move, something that will make contact. He's not special either, not even considering special. And he goes for Bullet Punch. Oh yeah. So now, he has no way. I am confident -2 attack, adaptability, Bullet Punch will not help him kill the Tornadus Therian. He actually goes for the Swords Dance, hoping that maybe I would not be able to kill him with a Sacred Sword, but you are mistaken, sir. Aegislash, I called from the beginning, was super powerful, super intensely broken. Maybe not broken anymore now that people have learned how to use him. But he is so good, it's appropriate to start 6th Gen off with him, and then finish this year with him. And I like how that worked out in the end. But that was an excellent match. Realm McCoy, or Real McCoy, whoops, 265. Comment, rate, and subscribe, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this battle. I will be having another upload coming up in the new year shortly after that, because you guys deserve it. And, you know, I just really felt like I had to record this because I just wanted more content out. More and more content. Fill your days up. Happy New Year, everyone. Now, I can say that again. Happy New Year for real, because it's New Year's Eve. And enjoy. And that's what happens when you sacrifice your guys to spikes. And you could have used them to death fodder. And you possibly could have won if you had gotten me. But, you know, mistakes are mistakes. It felt really good to actually beat this guy. He was higher up on the ladder. He was in the 1800s. And even though people probably say that people on Showdown suck, you know what? All of us got to learn eventually. We got to get better and better and better. And when I see someone at a higher ranking getting with this team and making those types of mistakes, I kind of feel a little bad. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? He was a good player. He made the right plays. and it made me actually think and not just constantly predict. So I felt really confident in this match and felt really good about it. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the new year. Until then, peace.